We are back with our new showtime at 9 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific, and whatever other time zone you are in, that's when we're live. So welcome back to MILIVE. I am Jay, and with me, as always, bright and early this morning is Dr. Bradley P. Dieter. Brad, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Jay, how do you feel about this time change for the show?
I've been up for 4 hours, so I'm okay.
So you're ready to go, but you're maybe not in full peak normal capacity because we normally record this later. Is that what you're telling me?
I think I am in normal relax mode, not super caffeinated hyper mode. So it's going to be interesting. I haven't even had caffeine this thing, so we'll see how it goes.
You haven't even had what?
Caffeine.
How are you alive?
Yeah, I don't know. I just woke up and started reading and started doing stuff and was like, and then I looked, I was like, oh, I'm going to walk the dogs and grab a monster. And then I looked, and I was like, oh no, I can't do that. The show starts in 5 minutes. So after this, I will be getting some caffeine in me. So this is our new time. It's 3 p.m. in the UK. So maybe some UK people can join us.
Can tune in.
Now, yeah. And again, anybody who can't make it, you can always check out the podcast go to macrosinc.net/podcast. Check that out. Anybody who's listened to the podcast and wants to watch us live, you can go to macrosinc.net/YouTube, subscribe and view our live broadcast, ask some questions. And for anybody watching, go to macrosinc.net/YouTube, subscribe, because Brad, what are we doing when we have 100,000 people who like our YouTube page by the end of the year?
If we get 100,000 people by the end of the year, Jay and I are going to do something absurd, and we're going to donate $10,000 to charity. 10,000. That's a lot.
10,000 in American dollars, not those fake Canadian dollars that are made of Monopoly money. So it's real money.
Correct.
Well, real money.
I mean, I feel like you and I should just move to Canada and become like instantly richer overnight.
Yeah, I have $12 that could make me. I could live off that for like 3 months,
or 3 decades,
or 3 decades. Sarah says 3 p.m. in the UK. Dante is here. Said good vibes. Welcome back, Dante. Sarah also said, "Wait, how tiny is the door behind you?" So I have for anybody who's listening to the podcast, I have 2 doors behind. One is my stepson's room, and the other one is a linen closet. That's the hallway linen closet. She said it's the tiniest door she's ever seen. Somebody else said it's like an Alice in Wonderland door. It's
so
just a linen closet.
Is this like, I've always thought this was like a closed room, or is this like a little loft area?
Yeah, no, it's I have an open office.
I was gonna say, now everything makes much more sense.
Yeah, no, I have an open office. That's why I need an office. That's why as soon as this is over, I am taking my dogs out, and then I am getting in my car and going to the office that I leased to get the keys. So tomorrow when we do this, I will be in my new office.
That just makes you the most official person I know.
Yeah, I'm trying. Leanne said good morning. Good morning, Leanne. So Brad, let's jump into our first topic.
Let's do it.
Artificial sweeteners. So our artificial sweeteners, Brad, this evil thing. I just saw something on Facebook the other day that now said that Splenda, what is Splenda?
Acyl sulfamide K.
Yeah, I just saw something that said Splenda is going to inhibit fat loss and will make you 100%. Splenda directly will make you gain weight, and there's nothing you can do about it. So our artificial sweeteners in
Splenda is sucralose.
Sucralose, that's right. It says sucralose will make you will inhibit fat loss and make you actually gain weight no matter how many calories you're eating. So Brad, in 7 words exactly, are artificial sweeteners directly going to make me gain weight?
There's no evidence to suggest that.
Those 6 words.
There is no evidence to suggest that. 7.
You said there's.
There is.
Okay.
No. I refuse to use contractions when I'm speaking or writing formally. And this is very formal, as you can tell by my jacket today.
Yeah, you're wearing a suit coat.
I know.
Pretty formal. I mean, we got here early enough that I took a shower that, my hair's still wet.
Your hair's still wet?
Yeah, from my shower this morning.
I'm kind of disappointed that you showered.
Yeah, well, I normally do that like 3 times a day after our live normally though.
That's crazy. My wife showers like once a week, probably.
I'm sure she's thrilled that you just announced that to everybody.
No, I'm just kidding. I just always give her a hard time because I shower like 2 or 3 times a day, and she showers probably like 3 times a week, like every other day. It's just funny.
I'm sure she's happy that you told everybody that.
I mean, I think that's normal for women, like with because they don't like wash their hair every day.
Yeah, and they don't smell as bad.
That's also true.
Yeah. So, Brett, are artificial sweeteners overall safe?
What we know based on decades of data is that artificial sweeteners in the amounts that we consume them carry very, 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 very low risks of side effects that are meaningful. Like some people report they get headaches when they consume them, and I think there may be something to that. But what we know from like actual hard side effects, there's virtually no major concerns, and the risks are incredibly low.
Okay. So like a toxic level of aspartame, which is the most common artificial sweetener. How much aspartame are we talking?
Let me look.
I mean, is it a dose that a person could normally consume?
I mean, it is. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like. Let's just take the headaches for example. You're looking at 3,000 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day for making headaches worse.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. So let's just say I weigh 70 kilograms. That would be 210,000 milligrams, which is 210 grams, which is a lot.
Yeah. How much? Maybe you can look it up. How much aspartame is in like a can of Diet Coke?
How much aspartame in Diet Coke? 180 milligrams.
And we would need how much? A couple grams.
Yes. So, you would need 3 grams to trigger headaches amongst people who report headaches from aspartame. That's what the scientific data suggests, which is about 16 cans a day. Okay. I mean, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, that's
my teeth would hurt.
Yeah. So can artificial sweeteners cause fat gain?
No.
Direct. No.
Most definitely not.
Where do you think this aspartame and artificial sweeteners are going to make you get fat or inhibit fat loss comes from?
I honestly don't know. I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that people who consume them usually consume them in the context of like, think about when do you generally drink soda? Like when you're ordering it with fast food, when it's a quick meal on the go. Like we generally don't consume diet soda in like a overall healthy food context, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably the main reason.
So it's more of a correlation with weight gain. People who eat in calorie surpluses typically consume diet soda as well.
Correctamundo. And you can actually look at, so one of the papers, I wrote a Facebook post on this quite a while ago, like some of the papers that have shown there's like an association between, diet soda intake and weight gain and like diabetes. If you look at the people who were consuming higher amounts of diet soda, they were also more likely to engage in they were more likely to exercise less. They were more likely to be smokers. They were more likely to be in a hypercaloric state. They were more likely to be overweight. It's like all of these things added up. Yeah. And it was more like the high diet soda consumption paralleled a cluster of other unhealthy behaviors rather than the unhealthy behavior or diet soda led to all these other unhealthy behaviors.
Yeah. And so Do you think it's a lot of people having like I'm gonna go order a Big Mac and I'm gonna order my supersized fries. I don't even know if they still make supersized fries. I'll order my Big Mac, my supersized fries, and chicken nuggets for dessert. But I'm gonna get my diet soda. Is that so people feel better? You think that's a big part of it? Like, oh well, at least I'm having my diet soda.
I think that's probably part of it. I also think that that's not a bad strategy, right? Like if you're going to go to like McDonald's and you're ordering a whole bunch of stuff, I mean, you might as well order the diet soda and save yourself another 400 calories because it's like, you're already probably over consuming calories. Why don't we not exacerbate the problem?
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, agreed. Oh, pardon me. Holy cow.
Jay, how dare you yawn?
Yeah, and I didn't mute my mic. This is what happens when we do this really early. So
when does your new audio equipment come in?
Today.
That's very exciting.
Today. Yeah, I got new audio equipment. It'll be in the office tomorrow.
This is how we do
so
it.
Overall, artificial sweeteners are not directly causing fat, and if you're dieting and planning and hitting your macros and counting your calories and making sure you're in a calorie deficit, having diet soda is not going to affect your weight loss one bit.
No.
So if you want to diet and consume a 2 liter of diet soda a day, and that helps you curb sweet cravings and stay full, there's nothing wrong with that.
Correctamundo.
Perfect. And it counts towards your hydration status too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now the only like caveat I would put on that is there may be some reason to be worried about your teeth.
Yeah.
Like the phosphoric acid in there. It's like I maybe wouldn't drink that much diet. I probably wouldn't drink 2 liters a day just because I don't know. I'm neurotic about my teeth. So that's just me, though.
That's why we're called MILIVE, Daily Nutrition, not the Daily Teeth Show. We'll let the damn dentist talk about that, Brad.
I did go to the dentist last week.
That's scary. I know you sent me pictures. You always send me pictures of yourself when you're at the doctor. I don't know why.
I know. That's because it's funny.
I get pictures of you. It makes my day, really. I like
to. Because it's hilarious.
Stephanie said, listens intently as I pour artificial sweetener into my coffee.
Speaking of that, you know what? I like my wife wanted coffee the other day and we didn't have like regular like the sugar-free like syrups that we have in our house because my wife's a sugar-free syrup in our coffee kind of person. But there was stevia and I put stevia in it and I was like, oh my God, I can't drink this. Like I took a sip of it and I was like, stevia is just not my thing.
Why?
I don't know. It just tastes weird.
Huh.
I don't know. I just don't. Stevia gives me a weird aftertaste.
Yeah, somebody said, yeah, I don't mind it. I can see how it has a weird aftertaste, but I think that like depending on if I haven't had it for a long time, sweet and low will get that too. Aspartame will have that same aftertaste, and then if I switch back to aspartame for a while, it won't.
Yeah, I wonder if there's also like some genetic thing. I don't know.
That could be. Sarah said I drink Diet Coke and Fanta Zero by the bucket load, so if it's bad, then I'm screwed.
Dude, Fanta. That stuff was the bomb.
Yeah, Fanta. Don't you want a Fanta?
Those were also the greatest commercials ever.
Yeah, I agree. Brad, your wife's going to kill you. That's what that comment said. Sarah said, wait, I've called it aspartame. Now I feel silly.
That's funny.
I don't get it.
Aspartame?
Oh, I don't get it.
I don't either.
Brad, what do you call a horse that has bad dreams?
A nightmare.
A nightmare.
I am the funniest person you've ever met.
Jody wants to know about stevia. What about stevia? And that's what we were just talking about. And stevia is actually not an artificial sweetener, isn't it? It's
a non-caloric, non-nutritive sweetener that's made from a plant.
It's just super sweet, and that's why you need so little of it. Correct?
Yes, it's like sweet.
Is that 1,000 times sweeter than sugar?
I think it's more than that.
Okay.
It comes from the plant Stevia rubaudiana.
Yeah, I read an interesting article, an economic article on on stevia, and the art, if they would have the theory behind it was if they would have discovered stevia before they discovered sugarcane, it would have changed the outlook of the food industry as a whole. Like throughout time, it would have changed everything, and we probably wouldn't have like an obesity crisis. We wouldn't have, we wouldn't have an obesity problem. We wouldn't have all these different issues. And that sugar, I guess, is there's like how we have like blood diamonds, like there's like blood sugar, I guess. And they wouldn't have had like issues with that. And it was a really interesting take, and I'll try to find it.
Stevia looks like it's 200 to 300, 250 to 300 times sweeter than table sugar.
Okay.
Some steviol glycosides, such as rubidioside D, have a clean sugar-like taste. Others, such as stevioside, can contain off flavors such as bitter, licorice-like, and metallic. So I guess it depends on which one you get.
Yeah, so maybe we should try and find the stevia with no aftertaste. Stevia tastes like that. That is, I agree with Stephanie. She said Stephanie said stevia takes like a week to adjust to, in my opinion, and I agree. I think all of them do. I think once you switch to them, to whichever one it is, you just get used to it. None of them, I don't think, have a bad aftertaste. They have a different one that just takes a day or two to get used to.
Yeah, I can see that.
Stevia is plant-based, so I thought it wasn't quite as bad. How could plants be evil? Sarah said.
Have you ever had celery?
Have I ever had celery?
Plants are evil.
No, celery is amazing.
Celery is proof that plants are pure, unadulterated.
I think I'm the
evil.
only person who just likes to eat regular celery.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, I could eat celery. I mean, it's great. You put salt on it, just salted plain celery. You put it in ranch dressing. It's amazing. You put peanut butter on it. You can put it in soup. It's great.
So it's a vessel.
Yeah.
It's not really a food itself. It's one of your favorite vessels, is what you're telling me.
You're my favorite vessel.
I don't know how I'm supposed to interpret that, Jay.
Very inappropriately. Leanne said, same Brad, I cannot do stevia. I like Splenda though. Stevia is ground up leaves, and celery is the bomb. Add soft cheese. No, that cheese is horrible. Cheese is the worst thing.
What do you mean cheese is horrible?
I hate cheese.
What?
Yeah, I just don't like it. I'll eat it on things.
What's wrong with you?
I've never been like, ooh, give me that piece of cheese.
Oh my God.
Yeah, whenever I can, I pick it off everything.
I feel like these are things you should have told me before we became friends.
Well, they were on my resume. You just didn't read it.
So, I don't think I've ever read your resume.
I don't think I've ever written one, so it's okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can honestly say I've never written a resume. I don't have one, never made one. Ever.
Isn't that weird? We live in a world where, like...
Yeah, well, I worked on fire departments. I never needed one.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's crazy that we live in a world where you can just like, we now live in a world where you can just kind of live your own life.
Yeah.
Oh, march to the beat of your own drum.
Stephanie said, I get produce boxes, and there were a few dreadful weeks where it was filled with celery. Those would be the best weeks.
Just like,
I would not admit you do not like cheese.
I mean, whoever said that, 100%.
No. Cheese on pizza, that is pretty much the only time I will eat it. Not on burgers, not on Mexican food. Once in a blue moon. This is Stuart, one of our moderators, who said this.
I love Stuart.
Once in never on its own. Yeah, never on its own, Stuart. I agree. Sometimes I'll have it on like a burrito or something if I'm in a hurry and if I don't think they're when I say no cheese, if I don't think they're gonna make it right, or they're gonna get annoyed with me.
For a second, I thought you were talking about celery, and I was like, who puts celery in a burrito?
That actually would be pretty good.
What?
Yeah, chopped celery in there with the lettuce. Oh yeah.
The only time where celery is acceptable is if it's chopped up very small and in like a tuna salad sandwich.
You're ridiculous. I forgot you were a child. Brad, if somebody wanted to get some, I love you. You're not a child. You're a man doctor.
I look like Harry Potter in my new spectacles, don't I?
You do. I love it.
They're blue light blocking.
You should draw your scar. I have a scar right here like Harry Potter. You should draw one right there. So Brad, if somebody was like, wow, artificial sweeteners sound like they're like everybody is everybody on the internet is feeding me a bunch of crap. You guys seem to nail it. Where could they go to find more information about artificial sweeteners?
I would probably go to 2 places in this order. I would go to macrosinc.net
Okay.
and I would sign up for a coach because they can tell you all of this stuff and you don't have to do any reading on your own. They will just literally like matrix brain dump it into you.
But they could give you the links to read stuff on. They could give you sources to read on your own and listen to.
Number 2, they will give you links to read it on your own and do some self-education if you don't want to be plugged into the matrix and you don't want to learn Kung Fu. The third option is you can go to NutraWiki.org.
NutraWiki.org. Got
Yep.
it.
Not WikiLeaks, but NutraWiki.
I mean, you should probably go there too.
I think we should also buy the domain NutraWikiLeaks.
We just post research before it's out there. Is that what we do?
I mean, we could do that.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So if you're interested in coaching, macrosinc.net, sign up for the 2-week free trial. A coach you'll get a consult with the coach. You'll learn how we work. See if you need the help to navigate the nutrition field to help make your diet sustainable and normal, realistic.
Normal, not normal, because normal's not always great.
Well, yeah, like I would say paleo is not a normal diet.
Let's say awesome.
Awesome. But I would say that like most diets are not normal. Like drinking celery juice for 5 days is not normal.
Correct.
Stephanie said, cheese is life. I had a charcuterie board for dinner one night last weekend. It sounds too French for me, so I'm out.
Dude, charcuterie boards are like where it's at.
No, is it just like a board of cheese?
It's got cheese. It usually has some nuts, some like pickled veggies, some olives, sometimes a little bit of hummus.
It sounds
some pita bread.
Hummus. So it must be your post-workout meal,
dude.
I mean, and I've told the story before. I was in Spokane, and Brad met me and Tim Arndt at a bar and walked in. He came a little later because he came from playing basketball, and he goes, "I am starving. I just played basketball," and he ordered the hummus platter for his man meal. I had some. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not wrong in any sense of the imagination.
It was just really funny. It was awesome. Sarah said, "What is wrong with people juicing celery? Just drink water and with green food coloring. It's the exact same thing." Okay,
that's true.
So, Brad, let's jump into our second topic. That first topic went long. That's probably the longest we've gone on a first topic, but we're also talking slow today.
We are running at half speed because I've only had a half a cup of coffee. I need to substantially cut back on my caffeine intake because I think was it Monday? It was Monday. I think by about 3:30 in the afternoon, I'd had about 400 calories and about 1,200 milligrams of caffeine, and I felt like I was about to die.
Yeah, I mean, it seems legit.
It was not great.
No, that doesn't sound good at all. So let's get our next topic. Nutrition priorities for success. So, Brad, if you had to rank, what is the number one nutrition priority that you would say people need to have a successful diet? Number one priority people need to have.
I would say, let me think about this. Let me rack my brain. The first thing I would say is you need to be mentally ready to change.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Like, we can give you all the tools you need to succeed, but if you're not ready to change what you're currently doing to something else, your likelihood of succeeding is pretty small. And so really it's about like just mentally preparing to change what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that we get a lot of people who, they sign up for coaching and they really just want that. They think that signing up is going to help them lose weight. And they're not ready. They want to lose weight because they're supposed to. They want to lose weight because somebody told them to. They don't want to lose weight because they want to. They might want to, but they're not ready to. They're not ready to make that commitment. And I think that's the important distinction. If you're and some of them have success. They diet down, they do good. But the problem is that I've noticed is that they don't sustain that weight loss because they're not ready to make that big change.
Yeah. And you know what I tell people is sometimes you need to get started with something before you are like perfectly ready. But realize that early on you need to start working towards that change.
Yeah.
Like you can start just like going through the motions, and I think there's 100% value in that, right? Of just like getting things going. That will kind of facilitate that change, but for you to really stick to it and see long lasting stuff, you need to mentally be prepared to change.
Agreed, 100%. If you're not mentally there, you're not going to succeed in
Yeah.
the long term. You might be able to grind it out in the short term, but in the long term, it's not a win.
Yeah.
What is the second priority that you would make for? What is the second nutrition priority you would say? What is the second thing you would say is the top priority for nutrition success?
So I'm gonna change up from what is from the article that we're using for kind of this discussion, and I would say the next one is making sure that you have a clear understanding of your goals and that you match your plan to your goals.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I think a lot of times people have an idea of what they want to do, but their plan isn't necessarily designed to do that. I think they just pick some way to go about doing it, and it's not necessarily lined up with their goals.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that is a big one. People don't have their goals lined up, and I think a lot of times people try to go for too many goals at once. I want to run and I want to lose weight. I want to improve. I want to get huge. I want to get huge and jacked and be be a super strong lifter. But I also want to drop 100 pounds in 6 months.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a prioritizing goals is a huge one.
Facts.
What do you say number 3 is?
Calories, 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 calories.
So calories.
Yes, I think calories.
So is that, and that works for anything with your nutrition, right? We're talking losing weight, gaining weight, maintaining weight, any of that. It's calories.
Correct.
Right. So calories in, calories out is pretty much the main thing that we're going off of. I put in energy, food, I output energy, movement, and then we can change our weight. We can change our weight plus or minus or maintain it as long as we know that. And why do you think that most people? Why do you think there's so much resistance to people still saying that you need to track calories to lose weight? Why do you think that's not a consensus yet? It seems so.
I think there's a few reasons for it. One is I think we are designed to let people do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. So
like if people are like, oh, tracking calories just seems way too difficult for me, we generally tend to say, oh, well, then let's not do that, because if that's not going to work for you, let's find something else that will work, right? And I think there is a lot of value in that. I find that over the long term, that's not always perfectly sustainable. Now, on the other side of the equation, I think sometimes like if you track every calorie every day all the time, that's also not sustainable. But I think you have to have some level of accounting system for most people for decent chunks of your kind of health and fitness journey. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Absolutely.
One of the interesting things and why I lean more towards kind of tracking your calories and counting them as often as you can is a lot of the arguments against it kind of come to the thing like, oh, our body has good satiety signals. We should be able to, control it. We can learn habits. We can do all sorts of stuff. But one of the things that I find is our food environment in our lives are so set up for, overconsumption that if you don't have some level of accountability to kind of objectively keep yourself in check, it can be very difficult to do that.
If you don't say that one more time.
So like, it's very easy for us to overconsume food, right? Like everything's convenient. We Uber Eats it. Most stuff is super high calorie, even if we're opting for, pretty nutrient dense, low energy foods, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We are in an environment where it's very easy for us to just overconsume food.
Yeah. And I think it's also really easy we have short attention spans. Everything's instant. Everything's,
Yep.
I'm going to switch tabs. I'm going to do this. There's no more, and everything's go to your fridge, grab something, go get some prepackaged. And I think a lot of times, and I've caught myself doing this, we forget how much we eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times in the day have you ever said to yourself, did I eat today?
Yeah.
What the hell did I have for breakfast this morning when you're going to bed? Like,
Yep.
I think that's one of the hardest things to remember is what did you eat today? Because we're so mindless when we eat, because we're not sitting down having meals anymore. We sit at our desk, we eat, we're watching TV, we're Facebooking while we're eating. And then I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting down, ate something and either reading or going through Facebook, not paying attention when I'm eating. I finish my plate. I'm like, well, wow, I am really still hungry. And without thinking about it, I'll get more food. And then if I actually stop and think about it, the serving that I had the first time should have filled. I probably shouldn't have even eaten the whole thing. That half of it probably should have filled me up. But because I'm not paying attention, you run away with it.
Yeah, right. And I think that's the benefit for tracking calories is it's a good self-accountability system, right? And I think, just in the world we live in and environment we're in, the more of that we have, the better for most people. Now, are there reasons why we maybe shouldn't track calories at certain points in our lives? Absolutely. I think we can make good arguments for that. But I think more often than not, defaulting to using that as a tool is more beneficial than harmful for most people.
Yeah, agreed. How about what's the next thing that you'd put on your list, Brad? Anything else?
I would say consistency. That's the next one.
Consistency?
Yep.
Okay. So is it better to be consistent and wrong, or inconsistent and correct with your tracking?
I would say consistent. It's better to be consistent and wrong.
Yeah, consistent, because if you're making the same errors, eventually you'll adjust for those errors as long as you keep making them.
Yep.
And I think, and I think the other thing that, we want to build up habits, things like that, but I think that the actual it's a habit, tracking things like that, but it's more of a skill, and you're only going to improve that skill by regularly doing it. If you track for 2 weeks, this is hard, then come back in 2 weeks and do it again for a week, it's still going to be hard. But if you would have just kept up with it for 4 weeks, tracking is not a skill that takes a long time to master. I would say it takes a month and you've mastered it.
I would agree.
But it's one of those things that when you start, your first few days take a long time and you're like, okay, this is easy. And then you're by your third day, you're kind of eating the same thing still. And you've got that third day down. You're like, this is good. But then by day 5, you're starting to change things up and it starts to get really hard. You kind of master it again on day 7 with changing a couple things. Then day 8, you go out to eat and the whole thing falls apart and you quit.
Facts.
Yep. So I think it's important for people to be consistent. And the last one that we'll cover for top nutrition priorities for success would be macronutrients. So
macros.
So Brett, why are you putting macros in a different category than calories?
Because they're two different things, right? I think about calories as providing the overall energy balance to your body, and I think about macronutrients as providing the type of energy you need for the type of activity you do, right? It's kind of like you can have a 16-gallon gas tank in your car. Mm-hmm. Your car can run on gasoline or diesel. If you put gas in a diesel engine or diesel in a gas engine, it's not going to run correctly. So I kind of think about it a little bit that way.
Okay, that makes sense. What is it? How important is it to be hitting macros versus calories? Is that a really like like if I'm not hitting, if I'm only following calories and not hitting macros, am I just not going to hit my goals? Is this one just a little more work that gives you a good enough bang for your buck to make it justified?
There's really two ways to look at it. If you hit your macros, you've hit your calories de facto, right? So it's like, you can just focus on the macros and your calories take care of themselves. The other side of the coin is if you want to just take care of your calories, you can also do that. But if you're like a high performing athlete, or you do a pretty high volume of training in a week, you probably need to spend a little more time focusing on your macros.
Yeah, perfect. That was an easy one.
That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, that was like the shortest explanation we've ever had. Got a couple questions here on this one now. So let's see. People. Sarah said she is doing eat, sleep, lift, run, repeat. And then she said she feels attacked when I said people are trying to have multiple goals, because she said, I want to run long distance, lift heavy, and lose weight. So you can do all of those. You just need to prioritize one and have the others as secondary goals. And then when you hit one goal, switch them back up. Or when you're satisfied with the progress on one goal, you don't have to even meet it. Switch them up and prioritize again. Corey Edwards waved.
Hello, Corey.
And
I know Corey in real life.
Well, aren't you freaking fancy, Mr. Doctor?
I am. I'm wearing a suit jacket today.
You are, and new glasses. You're a styling mofo.
Harry Potter.
What is wrong? Okay, so first off, how much caffeine have you had this morning?
I have had about a third of a cup of coffee.
Okay, so maybe you need to have 4 cups before we go on live.
Why? Don't you like it when I'm this strange?
Yeah, no, it's different. How important is it, Rachel? Stephanie Rachel said, how important is it to monitor macronutrients for the average person?
If you're eating a well-rounded diet, like if you're getting some vegetables, some fruits, and some whole protein sources, I probably wouldn't worry about it. If you're taking a multivitamin, I also really wouldn't worry about it. If you literally eat the same like 3 to 4 foods every day for weeks or months on end, I would track them to make sure you don't have any major deficiencies in what you're eating.
What if my diet consists largely of Pop-Tarts and toaster strudels?
Then you should track your micronutrients, and you probably need to be taking a multivitamin and a greens powder.
Okay, but those are the best.
I mean, you can have those. You might die of like, I don't know, some deficiency. Maybe you'll die of like beriberi or scurvy or
worth the risk. Toaster strudels are delicious.
What is niacin deficiency called?
I don't
know. It's some like Ligeria or some weird name like that.
You're Ligeria.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, Carolyn said, if I run long once a week, how best to get enough carbs so I don't bonk? I'm only 1,600 calories and hit my macros regularly. I feel like I need more carbs for running an 8:30 pace more than 6 miles.
So I would say increase your overall calories if you need to. Shift more of your calories towards carbohydrates for a while, so you can lower your fats. You may be even able to lower your proteins closer to like the 0.7 grams per pound for a while. Those are some options.
Yeah, and it depends. Are you maintaining your weight, losing weight at a good pace? Let's say your goal is to maintain your weight, and you are. Maybe we can increase your calories by 100 a day, and you're still going to maintain that weight. It's worth the try. If you are losing, maybe we still increase by 100, and you either keep that same rate of loss, or you will maybe slow it down a little bit. But running sounds like it's priority over weight loss right now, so that's where I would try and focus.
Yeah, and she said just the night before, I'd say no every day.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
So, Brad,
Yes.
one last topic. Are you ready for this?
I'm in.
The last topic today is on something that I read.
Okay.
Okay. Name and your profession.
My name?
Anybody's name in their profession. So the first letter of your name, and I left the book downstairs, of course. So the first letter of your name, typically, like there's a 78% higher chance that people whose name start with a P will be a plumber.
My name's Brad, and I am a professional badass. So
yeah, and I'm Jay, and I'm a jackass. So it works well. So yeah, it was
that cannot be true.
Yeah, no, it was like I read the data. Yeah, it was a I want to go get the book, but I don't have it with me.
I feel like that can't be true.
Yeah, I even looked it up.
Like, I feel like this is one of those studies that somebody just butchered the statistics or the methodology. There's no way.
It is.
I refuse to believe
called
this.
Nominative derivativism. It's the hypothesis that people tend to gravitate towards area of works that fit their name.
So it's a hypothesis.
You're a hypothesis.
You're a hippopotamus.
There's a lot of empirical evidence, so I'm looking up the Wikipedia page for it. Theoretical framework.
Oh God.
Yeah, this is so I want everybody, if your name relates to your job, please let us know. And whoever has the coolest name that relates to your job, then we'll give you a shirt.
So Stephanie, Rachel in here must be a software engineer. Carolyn must be a cop.
Why would Stephanie software engineer? Because it's an S?
Yeah.
No, it's let me find.
You just said P and plumber.
Yeah, it was. Hold on, I'll find you a.
While you're looking this up, Carolyn asked, "What was the reduction of protein?" I mean, if you need more carbs for your running, I'd maybe set your protein closer to the 0.7 grams per pound, and then use whatever extra calories for the carbohydrates.
Okay, that works. All right, so I'm getting examples. Where is it? These are not like Usain Bolt is a nominative. He's Bolt of lightning. He's the fastest man in the world. That's an example of one.
This is like, have you ever seen that movie, The Number 23, with
Robin G. Manhunt is the CEO of Food for the Poor.
See, okay.
This
is like confirmation bias to the letter.
Awesome.
Like, anything I could think of, I could think, oh, Jay, and I could make like a 45th connection thing to whatever it is you do.
Yeah, Sarah Blizzard is a meteorologist.
Yeah, but how many weather people? Like, our local weather person is Tom Sherry.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with weather.
Because they're attracted to that. Dr. Barth Toothman is a dentist. Gary Wood is a wood furniture maker.
Like Dieter, and I work in the nutrition area.
Exactly.
So you could just like make up all this stuff.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's a found set science that I firmly believe in, and I would appreciate it if you didn't attack my beliefs.
Sarah said, or Stephanie said, Stephanie, senior sarcasm associate.
Yeah.
Sarah said she's a serial slacker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Carolyn, she cares a lot and makes you food. See?
Oh my God.
See what the best connection I can make here is.
Christina said, okay, what's Christina? You must be I don't know.
Where's Christina? Oh, where's Christina?
We have Dr. Snip who does vasectomies.
When I was growing up, my dentist was Dr. Sippy.
Was it Crentis the dentist?
Dr. Sippy. You sip from a cup, Dr. Sippy. And his wife, he would always make the joke. He's like, he goes, you know, he would always make like jokes about his wife. And he goes, you know why everybody tells my wife she's so big? I'm like, no, why? And I was little. I'm like, no, why? He's like, because she's Mississippi.
Oh my God.
Also working as MP, my initials are DRR, so maybe I'm a Dr. R. See, exactly, it works. Brad, is it normal to gain weight in the first 2 weeks of counting macros properly?
If your goal is to gain weight, then yes. If your goal is to lose weight, then I would say it's not normal, but if you're coming from a very low carbohydrate approach to eating and you're now consuming more carbohydrates, you can see a increase in scale weight that will not be body fat. It will just be, imagine taking your car, weighing it, filling it up with gasoline, and then weighing it again, right? You wouldn't say your car has like added weight. It's really just, oh, I've added gasoline to the tank. And that's what you're doing when you go from a low carb diet to a moderate or normal carbohydrate diet. You're filling up your muscle stores of fuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other thing is a lot of people, when they start counting macros, they also start training at that time too. So if you just started working out, you can also see an increase in water weight on the scale. It'll bounce out over a couple days.
Speaking of that, my gym finally opened.
Oh yeah.
So I went to the gym the last 2 nights.
Oh, dude, your initials are BD. You're a big deal.
I know, and I am so sore. Can I get this suit jacket embroidered with a Macros ink on it?
Yeah. Sarah said her maiden name was Banks and she worked in a bank. I mean, dude, come on. This is sound science. I don't know how you're gonna.
This is just fishing for stuff. Like you can, it's like that movie, The Number 23. You're like, oh my God, all this stuff. If I add this and divide this and multiply by this and take the tangent of this star on this date, it's 23.
But that's how last names were originally formed. Like people with the last name Smith were blacksmiths. My grandparents, it was Gilchrist. My grandfather's side was Gilchrist, and they were like religious people in Scotland. My grandmother is Fisher, and they were all fishermen originally.
Yeah, but now we're so far from that.
Yeah, but no, it's still true. You gravitate towards it. I completely agree with it.
I completely disagree with it.
I don't really care what you think.
I think we need to play a game of Foursquare to see who wins.
Dieter, and your name is spelled Dieter, and you're a diet expert. Like, come on.
I am the Dita. I think we should settle this with a game of Foursquare.
I don't even know what that is.
You've never played Foursquare?
No.
It's a game where it's 4 squares painted on the ground, and you have a ball, and it can only hit your square once, and you have to hit it underhand, and you have to try to fake out the other person so they can't hit it.
No.
That's what we're gonna do.
No. I think you're wrong.
So this person said they're up 1 pound. I mean, your weight can fluctuate a lot more than that. So I would say ask for a macro check, see if everything else is going on, make sure there's no other major problems, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, I would post for a macro check in the group.
Christina said, my maiden name is Houston. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I was a nurse before. Obviously, I mean, that fits, right? Christina, Christ, the Red Cross, all churches, and caring for people. I can connect any dots, man. That is a gift that I have.
You're the most unreasonable person I've ever met.
because this area of science irritates you so much, I'm gonna keep it going, and I knew it would. That's why I brought it up.
I'm gonna get a billion text messages from you today about this, and I'm just gonna have to throw my phone away.
There was a famous philosopher named John Wisdom. I mean,
there was also a famous philosopher named Plato.
William Shockley was an electronics pioneer. Bernie made off with all of the money. Dude, I mean, come on. How do you not understand that people are destined for their things based on their names that are arbitrarily picked by their parents?
So Woith, what are you eventually destined to?
Darko Batish. Well, that's Croatian or Serbian. Croatian.
Darko has a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah, he's like a robot that likes to eat dishes. Robotish.
Oh my God.
It makes sense. Nikolai Tesla, and he was, why is that locked? Oh no, it locked up with Darko on there. Somebody said Nikolai Tesla has a whole company. So that's an easy one because he was testing you. So you didn't even know what to do.
What?
Oh, this whole thing locked up on me, Brad. Are you there?
Oh, that sucks. I can click on stuff.
Did it lock up on me?
I think so.
Could you hear me talking?
Yeah, I can hear you. Carolyn said, "Stop fighting, kids." Well, before this devolves into any further chaos, I think Jay froze. I think we can't see him. Well, I think we can see him, but I think he froze. So while we wait for Jay to unfreeze, I wonder if I can remove him. I removed Jay because he froze. Let's see if we can add him back. Nope, I think he's frozen forever. So, well, Jay has recently been kicked off. Let's see. Are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sharing Wi-Fi with a 10-year-old who's playing Star Wars Battlefront
Minecraft.
2. Apparently, in my neighborhood, 9 a.m. is a very busy time for people to be using Wi-Fi.
Huh.
Or using the internet. Let's see. We have to give a shirt away.
Okay. We will give a shirt away to the first person who can correctly guess what month I was born in.
It's not a. There's only 12 possible guesses.
Okay, what's your suggestion?
I thought we were giving one for the name, who had the best.
Okay, we'll do that. That makes more sense.
That's much better. And I really personally, I think that the best name to match a profession is Brad Dieter, but I'm not giving you a shirt. So we can go with, I'm a mortgage collector administrator. Sorry, I just saw this, Sarah. I think that either Sarah and a serial slacker or Stephanie and senior sarcasm associate should win.
Let's flip a coin.
Okay,
I feel like you always have coins.
Yeah, we will flip a. Oh, I don't have any good coins though.
Well, why do you need a good coin?
We will flip a 1933 S Walking Liberty Head $50. Heads, Stephanie.
God.
What? It's in fine condition. It has a cool patina to it though. Look at that. It's really worn though. All right, we will flip this. And Stephanie wins heads. And who was the other person we were going with? Sarah?
Sarah.
Tails, Sarah. It didn't flip good. And it's tails. But we'll go with both. So both of you. Email me at jay@macrosinc.net. Let me know that you
I don't even know why we have rules around here.
The points are made up the points are made up and nothing matters anyways. I don't understand.
Whose line is it anyway?
Good job. Where the points made up and nothing matters. Brad, what month are you born?
I was born in February.
And nobody got that.
No, they did.
Who?
Carolyn Ellis Becko. CEB.
All right. Carolyn, we'll give you a shirt too. 3, because Brad's just making up rules and giving stuff away.
Well, the rules don't matter, and neither do the points.
Yeah, no. So the 3 ladies who won today, please email me your name, jay@macrosinc.net. Give me your name, and then we will give you a $30 gift card to use in the MacroSync store with free shipping. Side note, there is apparently a 35 to 40 day delay on shipping from our store due to COVID-19. So, yeah.
I'm so sick of Big Rona.
Yeah. They're messing up our flow, Brad.
They're also really messing up my mugs, which should have been here.
What mugs? You got a mug?
I ordered Morning Joe mugs.
What?
Yeah. Well, first I ordered ink for my printer, and after a week, they're like, "Well, we can't get it to you," so I had to cancel that order because it was going to be 7 weeks before it came in. Then I paid for the mugs, and I'm waiting for those to get here.
Oh, well,
I ordered something from my wife in March, and it made it here last week.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't had any delays on Amazon.
Well, I may or may not order from sketchy websites from time to
Yeah,
time.
you know you do. You order from the weirdest places, like websites. I'm even afraid to click the links that you send me sometimes because I'm like, oh, they're gonna steal all my information.
Like my goggles.
Your goggles, yeah. Where did you get those from? Some weird website. I can't remember where you got that. Yeah, Brad's in the doghouse with his wife because
No, never. The thing is, we don't take ourselves very seriously. So,
well, it's also you just like run and hide and then
yeah, 100%.
or just do what I do and be like, here's a present.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, same macro time.
Same macro channel, early time tomorrow. We will be on that early time for now on, and I
Forever.
and starting next week, Hannah and Derek are going to be doing MILIVE prime time every Tuesday and Thursday.
What does prime time mean?
I don't remember what time.
It means it's in primetime TV hours. So sometimes somewhere between the hours of like 5 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Pacific.
I think it's 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, so it's in primetime TV.
So MILIVE prime time with Hannah.
Wait until we take down the cable companies.
Yeah, with nutrition talk.
By 2040, we will have taken over cable.
Yeah.
Give me 20 years.
Yeah, you can do that one on your own. I'm not in for that ride.
Like Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and I can move the world.
Oh my God, you're so clever. All right, guys, if anybody, you and your physics, anybody who, if you haven't already, go on over to macrosinc.net/podcast, subscribe to our, and you can subscribe to the podcast, macrosinc.net/YouTube, and you can get alerts for the live shows. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which helps us donate $10,000. You should go to macrosinc.net/services and sign up for coaching. Brad's pointing, and I don't know what to.
The YouTube thingy should be there.
Where?
By your, I'm guessing it's your right shoulder because everything's mirrored.
Should be right there.
Nope.
Right where? I'm trying to point right there.
Other way, other side of the screen.
Why should it be over here?
Because that's where it'll be.
Oh! When they're on YouTube. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It took me way too long to figure out.
No, not this one. Yeah. I'm talking about the subscribe button, which would be there.
Right there. Nope, right there.
Yep.
Right. Somewhere in this area. I'm not supposed to be on this side of the screen. It's messing me up, and I can't deal.
So you know how it's like hard for us to do this? When I was in graduate school, we were doing surgeries on mice under microscopes, and things are like backwards.
Yeah.
Depending on the microscope you use, and so you're like trying to do heart surgery, and everything's backwards under a microscope, and it's impossible.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound fun at all.
No, it's terrible.
I lost looking in mirrors sometimes.
Oh my God. And with that, we will sign off before this degenerates into even worse behavior on our part.
Good day, guys. I forgot to hit end. We're still here. We'll do this again. I was watching you dance and I couldn't stop. All right, guys, now we're leaving for I thought I hit it. I really did. All right, goodbye.